Hey everybody. Been a long time, I believe. I record videos all day, every day. I don't upload many. Thank God. It's my birthday today. Not only is it my birthday, I'm 49, but it's the third anniversary of being no contact. It was my birthday on 2016, 17, 18, yeah, that I spoke to I actually interacted with my mother for the last time, maybe my father. Um, and it was exactly 1 year before, on Father's Day, that I began to get suspicious. So it's been about 4 years. Anyhow, so this channel has basically had its day. I mean, it's done its service for me. But I'm not leaving YouTube. But I'm going to be just reformatting it and start actually coming to the table with something actually structured, because I have quite a bit I want to bring out. I just want to tell you a couple of things if I didn't forget them already. Oh yeah. Oh my God. First of all, guys, if any of you have been feeling bad for me over the past few months because I've been, you know, outside collecting aluminum cans and glass bottles to return for a living, if you don't know, since I've been traumatized, really, my brother died and whatever. That's what I've been doing for a living. I've been a programmer up to this point. Do not feel bad for me anymore. April is the worst month. Now I remember. 3 years in a row. No, it's my third year now. So it was my third time. But the first time I just never would have seen it, right? Because I was just in a daze. The second time I would not have recognized it. It took the third time to realize. April. It's not the winter months. Because the winter months, there's no competition. So it's actually kind of easy. It's cold. And some days I got frostbite. But it's fun out there because there's nobody out there. I mean, it's not fun, but every time I go out, it's a trip. Uh, it's a trip. How about that? It's a trip. Just like acid is not always fun, or mushrooms are not always fun, but they're always a trip. Well, in the winter was always a trip, but in April, I always get it. Third year, the second year, I don't know, whatever, that I get excited because the snow is gone. It's kind of warm. Well, you think it's warm. So I changed my clothes. I got sick twice in April. And the thing is, in April, the university students are studying for their finals. And this is the point that I finally realized that they are not drinking. They're simply not drinking. So on recycling day, last recycling day, or the last two of them, when usually I would make, well, in the summer any day, I can make enough money for the week. Even now, this is what I'm telling you, don't feel bad for me anymore. The exam's finished for some people. Um, on Friday. For others, it's tonight, and for others, it was today, and for a few more, I guess it's tomorrow. But the kids are going crazy already, and this is a party city, and so I mean, I feel bad because there's so much money on the streets, but there's too much already. For like now in the summer, I never have to look. I never have to go out looking. Just when I go out and I smoke joints in the park, learn to dance, go shopping, anything, I just bring a bag with me, and I end up coming back with more money than I need. I mean, it's just a business that just I never have to say I have to go and look now for at least another 4 or 5 months, and I plan to get out of it now. So don't feel bad. I am so free now. Now is when the tables get turned. And I looking at people working and in cars and everything. Or I never envy people in cars, but now I really don't envy anyone. Like my neighbor, she works at a grocery store where I return the cans. And in the winter, I felt like a real bum going in there and returning cans while she's nice and cozy inside, hello, and getting paid. Now I walk in from the nice weather and she's stuck inside. And I'm thinking, this is great. I'm walking out of here with like $20, and like she's like stuck behind there just to make like $80, but she's stuck all day being a slave and doing something like her whole day is gonna anyway. So don't feel bad. Another thing, all the stuff I found in the past 3 days, guys. I have found so much stuff. I found a coat brand new a man's winter jacket. Obviously, a rich kid bought it. They moved back to their warm town. It was $1,200, brand new, and it was basically brand new. It fits me perfectly because Asians are small and I'm kind of small. I found a watch, a Mont Blanc watch. I even looked in Lost and Found. I thought maybe someone lost it and it was an accident. Nope, it's been 2 weeks. On eBay, secondhand, $500 US. I found 4 vacuum cleaners, including brand new Dirt Devils. I found, guys, I can't even tell you. I mean, I found a mixer, a DJ mixer, a big brand new one. I mean, it's like beautiful. I found, I have electronics and like stuff galore that I have not even gone through. And if I went out now, there are leather couches out there that you people would die for. They're worth thousands of dollars. But the kids come from university, they spend 2 years and they just move back. They're happy. They're gonna all be rich because the university near me only turns out professionals, doctors, lawyers, things like that. So these kids throw out $10,000, $20,000 of apartment into the garbage. Computers, I mean laptops. I just don't take some things. I don't take any more printers. I don't really take any more laptops. I don't take any more vacuum cleaners, or I mean, I take very few things now. Art, I have artwork. And I saw, anyways. So I figured something out, guys. I had asked you guys. I was angry last video. I think it was the last video uploaded. I said, why do we fuck up? Why do we make mistakes? You know, what's wrong with it? Why did I spill that apple juice? I don't think I uploaded a response video, but ever since then I've had some major epiphanies. So, well, it's because I studied, I researched, and I think I'm not sure if I gave you a link or what. There was a video by Robert Sapolsky, and it was about how we're influenced by our mother's serotonin-based system, which is more of a delayed reaction kind of, no. Okay, let me just start again. It's our mother's genetics, which tend to make us look for save for long-term planning, like a mother would have to, right? She'd have to look out for her baby, so it's a long-term planning thing. She has to look out which man is good enough that she's going to allow to be impregnated, so it's a long-term strategy. Whereas the man's genetics are go for it now, and that's like that answered my question pretty much, you know, definitively. How come we screw up? Well, because we're always stuck between, and when you make a mistake and you choose the wrong one, well, then you kind of feel like you screwed up. But the truth is, you didn't really screw up. You just made a choice based on, it's like a gamble. Everything is a gamble based on chance, I realized. He made me realize that it was our mother and father fighting. But then I took it a step further. I said, okay, that means that every choice we make, we base it on kind of like it's a gamble. And then I realized, yeah, everything is a gamble. Like, I'm going to have this coffee, and I mean, what's the gamble? The gamble there's poison or that there's a bug or something, you know, so it's a very small one. But, you know, when I smoke this joint, there's a gamble that I'm going to get cancer. There's a gamble I'm going to burn my nose from not paying attention. And when it comes to certain bigger decisions, right? Should I date this person? Should I go to this nightclub? Should I, you know, take a leak in this alley, or should I wait to get to the restaurant? These decisions, well, certain ones have they're a bigger, the chance that something bad is going to happen is greater. So in that case, you want to go with your mother's genetics, and hold out. But you might say at the last moment, especially I would think a psychopathic mentality, or impulse control, which I pretty much have, you know, I battle with, be like, you know what, just take the leak in the alley. What can happen, right? I mean, it might happen, but what's the chance? And you end up getting clubbed over the head by 2 guys who are smoking crack and want your money. While you're taking a leak, you end up with a concussion, and you lose your wallet and your money, and you say, why did I do that? Why did I do that? Why didn't I listen to my mother and wait and go safely in the restaurant? So then I took it a step further just last night, and I'm like, wait a second, okay, so if everything is based on chance, maybe that's what quantum physics is all about, where they say like maybe this is how quantum physics, we experience quantum physics in the bigger picture, that everything we do is based on probabilities, and although we think that things are simple, and often they are, some of them, okay, no, we think they're simple, and they are, or sometimes they're not. Whatever it is, they're all based on one simple function, which is one simple, they're all based on the concept of probability. I mean, underneath it, that's what we're working with. And in the many worlds theory, I guess there would be a different world for every choice you made. So if you went with your father's genetics and say just went for it, that would be one world you'd live in. But it's, quantum physics or the many worlds theory, I think, would say that your mother's instincts also grabbed hold of some part of your consciousness and went with it, and that reality took place too, and is taking place somewhere in a different reality. Okay, I've gone way too far on this. As you can see, I need to be more structured. But so that's the end of my birthday video. I had so much to say, guys, but you know what? I've definitely recovered. I feel really good, by the way, that I called my mother a few weeks ago and I said that you're forgiven. Ever since I did that, I feel like I'm completely recovered, except for one thing. Okay, first of all, just for my birthday, this is my birthday present. It's rice pudding in a can. I just love this rice pudding, and I don't buy it often. I usually make it, and I don't make it as well. So this is my big present for me. Another thing, by the way, guys, I have no external objects in my life. I have no girlfriends, no friends. I don't deal, well, I mean, I have some acquaintances, but I have no real, bonding. I'm not bonded with anyone in a great, big, strong way. I just have neighbors and friends like that. And it's great. It's great. And I can't see why anyone would want to have a relationship, once you've, yeah, I can see why. It's a trick. It's like our genetics play a trick on us. Because short term, you get the body, you get the comfort, you get the massages, you get the company. But I'm not sure if in long term, it works out. So, I'm still pretty happy single. It's been a long time. Longest in my life by a long shot. But I see a lot of beautiful girls. But, I always think of Adam and Eve. When I see a woman, she almost looks like an apple. The snake, you can cut the snake right out of it. Because, cut the woman out too. I mean, she is the apple, for God's sakes. And I want to bite, but then I think, it's gonna take away all my joie de vivre. I mean, I can't complain, right? So why mess with what's not good? Why mess with good enough? That's a big risk. That's something I gotta say. I realize a relationship of any kind would be a big risk. So I think for this channel, I'm going to start checking my stats and hopefully get back into interacting. For this one, I think I'm just going to keep it personal, but I'm going to take it on the road. So I'm only going to upload videos that are outside of my city, so we can have some fun with some people who are deranged or have problems, and hopefully I can help them out on camera and just have some fun there. Man, this stuff is so good. I can eat this until... Happy birthday to me. So 49. Man, my brother only made it to 44. I feel bad, He's the only part of this whole thing that... I can't believe it. I'm going to tell you guys something. I thought about this only an hour ago. My whole life, I always liked acid and mushrooms. And very intense psychedelic drugs. Now, I don't think I can handle those. I think especially mushrooms... I think if I did magic mushrooms, I would start crying. All the reality that I've lived now that I have conscious would tear me apart. And I think maybe that's why the psychopaths that I know, they do not like acid. My parents once expressed that about LSD, and my ex-girlfriend, they like cocaine and speed, and I understand. Because today, I would never go near mushrooms, especially. I mean, I have some here someone gave me. I'm scared of it. I'm going to get all sad, and I'm going to think about my family and the way the whole genetics work. I mean, I'm going to go nuts. I would end up I might end up in the hospital. So if I ever do other drugs, it would have to be those boring stimulants. The most intense would be maybe MDMA. Even acid I could deal with. It's just the magic mushrooms that I have here, and I wish I didn't, because those trips are so organic. You really feel like your ancestry, and oh, so that's really one thing that I'm permanently damaged on from this whole experience. I'll never be the same. Um, I see a lot of evil in the world, but I see the behind the evil is a lot of narcissism, and narcissism is immaturity and stupidity. So it's hard to truly call evil evil when you've been so close to it, and you know what it is. Then it's hard to really hate it in the same way. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. At the same time, it's hard to excuse even a little bit when you see it anywhere around you. I see it in a lot of people now. Not narcissism, really. I just see people who are not self-actualized, who have a lot of secrets. They're obviously holding things back. They obviously have issues about who or what they are. And because of that, it taints their expression and their impression of me. Their expression towards me, their impression of me. And it just feels very icky. And maybe that's why I always preferred, women who are on the down and out, because they're a little bit more in touch with who they are. I see people walking around. Okay, I tell you, this goes for men and women. It's like the fashion thing. I understand fashion. What I don't understand is this clean look that everyone seems to share. It's the same kind of look. It reminds me of an Apple iPhone or an iMac laptop. It's way too clean. When I was growing up in the 80s and 90s, people had a lot of fashion, a lot of style. But there were only one or two styles out of maybe the 20 that you would see that actually had any sort of affiliation with the concept of clean and neat. I forget, we had one, Preppy, and then there was one other one, New Wave. Those guys were clean cut. Everyone else was like you guys know goth, I guess, right? I mean, you have no rock and rollers walking around. In my day, like, you could be, I guess in this, you have a little bit, but they're dying off, man. Like, the young kids, I gotta say, they're very sterile. And even the ones that try not to be sterile come across to me as sterile. I mean, if I had a loop in my ear and a nose ring here and this, you would still say, hey, this dude is just boring. I've seen this guy a million times. Like, everyone's look is kind of the same. That's why I don't go for any look. God forbid. Like, I mean, I don't really know what that's all about, but, I just noticed it. I noticed a lot of things. Something I noticed also that I'm going to say, and it's not really I've had some videos on this, but I didn't upload them because they were very mean. So I'll only keep it to one example. And this is, I guess this is going out to men. It's going out to women too. It's going to go out to both you guys, okay? When I grew up, we had wheels on our luggage, yes. But only on big luggage, guys. Like, I mean, if the luggage was 10, 15 pounds, especially if it was 5 pounds, if it was a small luggage, like, we just lifted the luggage. We even would carry 2 or 3 of them. It was fine. Like, I mean, sometimes we would strap one maybe to the other, but we didn't have it on wheels behind us when it was 2.5 pounds. I see young men and women dragging their luggage or their paperwork behind them, like their dogs, like their little pet dogs, and I look down and I say, my God, you're making this noise, you're dragging this painful, and it's, I mean, I could have picked that up when I was 6 years old and not felt it. What are you doing? Now, the problem is this, they could laugh and say, well, they need their hands free for their phone. Fine, I understand, whatever. But then when they're my age, at 49, they're going to be weak, and I see it. And this is why I think I'm like angry, and I'm getting upset again. I'm getting triggered. Because as I approach 50, I see people I know, people in the neighborhood where I live, and people from outside of the neighborhood where I live. Now, I live in a neighborhood where you don't have a car. If you live here, most of the time you're single or you're divorced, and you're downtown within 5 minutes walking. Most people, if they have a car, they maybe use it once a month. There's no need here. It's like living downtown New York City. You don't need a car. You don't want a car, and it's the same thing where I live. And when I moved to another city, I also live right downtown with millions of people. So most of the people I know, they don't have cars, and they basically just keep physical more or less, and they just would never drag anything behind them. Sometimes I see people who live around here now doing it, who are young, but they're probably not going to live here. All I'm saying is, guys, then when you're 50, I see that the diabetes, they get obese, they just don't look healthy, they don't look alive. So who cares if they have good jobs and beautiful wives and anything? They look like hell, and they just don't move. That's really the key, is they don't move. And I'm looking at them going, man, I feel bad. Like, of course they don't move. I mean, they never challenge their body. And this is what I'm getting to you. If you kids are not lifting, when you're 60 years old, ladies, I see ladies who are 60 who look like they're going to fall over. They can't lift anything. They need baskets and this and that. And no wonder, because they've never lifted anything. And then you see other ones who have lived here downtown, and they're 80, and they're spry. I mean, they have never aged because they have not allowed themselves to atrophy. And it's so obvious when you live amongst so many people and you see how people come from the suburbs, and the married men and the married women, and they just, I don't think it's because you're married. I think it's because you've got this car mentality. And really, this wheel luggage mentality that just, it upsets me, because I don't think it's the way to go. Like, I mean, something I realize is you have to, like, challenge yourself at least a little throughout the day, or else there's no glory. I challenged myself in the past 3 years more than ever. It would have been so much easier to get a job and just, but anyways, that was my only really, it's become a pet peeve. Just, you guys, 22 years old, twice the size of me, you look strong, and they're wheeling their little 10-pound luggage behind them down the street. And I'm like, we would have laughed our heads off in my day if one of our friends showed up with this little anything on wheels. It's for old ladies. It's for old ladies and old men. Even the cars, guys. I mean, like, if you drive a car to, like, the grocery store, think about it. Is that really any different than getting into a wheelchair and pressing go so you have a cover on you and you go a little faster? It's still not what dudes should be doing, man. Get on your bike or just walk it, man. Like, and really, I'm talking about this because I also have come across so many videos from men who just look like they're angry. They're angry at, like, women for some reason. And I'm like, well, yeah, because if you're never on your feet, you're never interacting in the world, you're going to have this imaginary bubble around you. You're going to feel like you can't get women, or you're going to feel ugly. You're going to feel that because you are ugly, but not because of the way you look, because of the way you're acting. You're walking out of your car all decrepit. And when going to the gym does not change that, guys. I mean, it still looks not like... Look, we're apes. We're meant to walk. That's the bottom line. The bike is probably just as good or better because it's the same concept. I don't like narcissists, and I don't like cars. And in my mind, I see this connection in a way. And I know that's totally not right. It's a perverted connection I see, like, that doesn't really make sense only in my mind. It's like psychotic thinking. Just like personifying Mother Nature as a woman and getting angry at all women when it rains. But it had to be said. It had to be said. Now, I have much more serious things to say, but it's my birthday. I'm halfway through the rice pudding. I'm going to put it down. Guys, thanks for watching me, man, these past few years. I never thought I'd make it. I'm still never gonna be the same guy I was when you first met me. Holy shit, I knew nothing. I try not to think about stuff, guys. I'm telling you, I think of my parents and like, I don't go deep into it. I never wrote my book because, God, there are so many things I don't even want to tell anyone anymore. I used to want to, like, I do want to tell you, but whenever I start talking about it, I'm like, holy shit, my parents were. They were not as evil as they were immature and, like, sick. I think also what happened, I was watching the thing on dopamine from Soplansky, and he was saying how dopamine, you can have dopamine for years. In other words, when you're going to get your PhD, that driving mechanism is a dopamine cycle for years till you get your diploma. And I think what happened with my mother is that she saw that turned into a dopamine hit. Like we talk about the liar's duper's delight. My mother was getting extreme duper's delight from fooling me, making me think we had a normal family and everything was. She got a thrill off it, and I guess by the end of it, she just couldn't get off it. She needed to keep going. Even after my brother died, she needed a hit. So, it's not really. I can see it from a chemical perspective, and I can see it. And I just wish that I knew how to make a YouTube channel that wasn't going to get demonetized, because that's another issue that I haven't brought up yet in this video, but Be Good 4000 got demonetized, and for me that was, and I heard Little Shaman got demonetized, but got it back, and I just got even so more depressed about that. But anyways, I'm 49. I have one more year to do before I'm only 50. God willing, I live to 100. I'm only halfway there. Man, I hope so. I feel it. I don't feel, well, I'm sure a lot of people at 50 feel they could, but, I feel I was reborn 3 years, just recently in the past 3 years, I feel I was reborn. It's like, I can't believe any of it. I can't believe I have no family for 3 years, and I have everything is gone, man. Everything is gone. And I have this new me that understands so much more. Thanks to YouTube. It's all for you. Man, I have to thank you. As much as YouTube has a problem, I think YouTube maybe was ruined by monetization. Maybe if there was no monetization, only people who would be doing it out of love, and maybe it would be a better platform. No, I think it's give and take. Anyways, thank you for watching. I'm not going away. I'm just ending this, and maybe I'm going to rename my channel, because I don't necessarily want to be known as the narcissist scapegoat forever, because I won't be scapegoated. But it's not true, because because I know something that's true for sure. I'm 100% sure. My mother and father are still scapegoating me. I never corrected it with my family. At first, I really wanted to set things straight, but as soon as I realized what it was, and I said, okay, you know what? A lot of the family do know. The older members, they know. That, a lot of them know everything. They know probably more than I do. So it wasn't like they were protecting the younger kids from knowing, and a lot of the younger ones probably knew too, but they didn't know how to tell me. So for the few people that I am being scapegoated, basically my mother's side of the family, I know it's only like 3 or 4 people, maybe 6. If I see them after my parents pass on, then I'll correct it, but there's no need. If they read my book once it's out, it might be a few years for that. There's no rush. There's no rush in anything in life. Something I've learned, and I learned this from Soplansky. As soon as you put I learned this from Alan Watts, who's my favorite. As soon as you put a rush on things, as soon as you want to get somewhere, that's when life goes down the drain. Not that I'm saying you shouldn't want to get there, but damn it, take your time if you can. Because when you start living in the future, I promise you, I've seen it happen to me. The joy goes down. Now that I'm re-educated again in some Alan Watts, because I had forgotten about all that Buddhist stuff and Taoist, I refreshed myself, and immediately I said, you know what? Work on your projects the way you were 2 years ago. You just weren't thinking about them unless you were doing them, and you were actually doing more of it. So when you start to plan, and I see what you know what he says? He says desire is the source of all suffering, and it's true, because when I was first homeless, I wanted nothing. I wanted only an apartment. But even that, for a couple of days, at my peak, or when I first had it, I didn't really want it. Once I had become comfortable living in the shelters and living on the street, man, that was a fun life. I really have come a far way, and I didn't really do it with any shock. I I've gone maybe 5 times in the past 2 years. No, 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 5 times in the past year. No, 5 times in the past. Maybe, yeah, maybe 5 times in the past. Maybe 10, whatever. I've definitely graduated. I've gotten off of that. I have other business ways to make money. And guys, I'm just gonna stop it here because I ramble on, and I don't know if anyone even watches me. I could watch and only have 2 views, and it could be all me. I've never checked. I'm gonna leave it there. My birthday is almost over. I'm gonna spend it doing what I love to do: drinking coffee, Tim Hortons, eating rice pudding, and smoking a lot of marijuana, and watching YouTube all night long. Oh my God, I have so many good channel ideas, guys. Damn, I guess maybe I'll just do them all. And happy birthday to me, and happy birthday to you from you. And guys, I don't know how to say I love you because I don't know who you are. A lot of times I'm so scared of just reading comments and getting. Now I have to be mature and read everything comment. It's been 3 years exactly. Man, I can tell you the last 3 years, people, it seems like it's 10. My brother died less than 10 years ago. He died in 2011. It seems like he died. It seems like he died. It seems like he died before I was born. I swear to God, it feels like he died before I was. It feels like it's the weirdest thing. It feels like my brother was. I never knew him in a way, because in this state, as you know me now, I never knew my brother. It's so weird. It's a total dissociation thing. I mean, I think that's maybe why I can't write the book, because in a way it bridges my past to my present, and I've somehow, there's a gap in there. There was like 2 years when I was on the street, and you guys saw me that I was out of my mind in a way, and I just don't want to talk about it anymore. Actually, tripping myself out.